Hi everybody, welcome back to Bearded Reef. My name is Ross. In this video, as you'll have seen from the thumbnail, it's not been a great week and the tank's looking terrible. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. Hi everybody, welcome back to Bearded Reef. Like I said there, in this video we're going to discuss a couple of things that's happened this week. It's not been a great week for the tank, a couple of issues, and the tank does still look terrible. So we'll get into that. Before we do that, I just want to drop in here my water testing. So I'm going to do my water test just now. I'll put this clip in here to show you what my parameters are at, and everybody will be able to see that. That's quite a common question I get. Don't worry, don't chase figures, just try and keep them steady. That's the key thing with this. So yeah, we'll jump in, we'll take a look at my parameters just now and see where they're sitting at. Okay, so first check that we're going to do is on the nitrate. Now this is the high range nitrate HANA checker. My nitrates were dropped down to about 2, around about that last time, so I've been trying to raise them. Haven't done a water change for 2 weeks now, so I missed last week's. So fingers crossed I brought them up. I've been overfeeding slightly as well, so we'll see what this brings up. 10.1. Okay, so that's really good actually, I'm happy with that. My readings used to be anywhere between 5 and 10, that was on the Salifert test kit, so obviously when I got the HANA it was a bit more accurate. So I was aiming anywhere around about, to be honest with you, 8 to 10 is kind of where I wanted to be. So nitrate's reading 10.1, really happy with that. Hopefully I can keep that there, and yeah, we'll see how we get on with that one. Okay, so phosphate now, I'm expecting this to be slightly higher because I have been overfeeding quite a bit, and like I said, I didn't do a water change, but we'll see what this turns out at. So phosphate 0.44, that is ridiculously high to be honest. I was aiming for round about, again, like I say, 0.08 to 0.1 is kind of the target that I was going for, so definitely bring that down. That's going to be giving me some issues, so at least we've found that out now. But yeah, we'll bring that phosphate level back down again to hopefully around about the 0.1. Do that gradually and see how we get on, but at least we've found out that that's probably going to be giving me some issues anyway. Okay, so the last of my HANA checker tests anyway is the alkalinity. Now my alkalinity is pretty steady to be honest. It usually sits anywhere kind of between 7.8 to 8.2 kind of thing. It's a Tropic Marin Pro Reef salt that I use, which seems to be really good. It's quite a stable salt, so fingers crossed things are still going okay with this. It's actually a really easy test to do. As you'll see here, it's very quick. You just mix this up, add in your 1 ml solution, give it 5 or 6 shakes, quite gentle with it, and then put it back in. Now make sure when you put these in that the writing's facing towards you on the tube. And as you'll see, I've got the little cloths that I just give them a wipe with just to make sure there's no fingerprints or anything in them. Put them back in with the writing facing towards you. Double check that that's there. And then we'll shut this lid over. Press the button and get our results. So we'll see what the alkalinity is. 8.4. So that's a tad higher than what it usually is. It's usually, like I say, between kind of 7.8, 8.2 kind of thing. But 8.4 is fine. I'm alright with that. That's not an issue. Probably actually better being at 8.4. So yeah, that's quite a good reading for this one. Happy enough with that. So it's only really the phosphate that's been an issue there. Nitrate I'm happy with. Alk I'm happy with. But phosphate we definitely need to bring down. We'll do the calcium magnesium test next, and that'll kind of round off what we're testing for today. Okay, so calcium is the one I'm going to do next. Now, I've already added the solution in here. It starts off kind of pink colour, you add in the drops till it goes blue, and then read off the syringe. So if we look at this here, if I can turn this round a bit, it's round about 0.08, give or take, round about there I would say. It's on the bottom of the plunger, so you just get a little book here and it'll tell you what 0.08 is. So 0.08, you can see there is 460. So again, not overly worried about that. My calcium used to sit around about 440, so it's at 460 now. It's not a bad thing. Like I said, I don't dose anything. That's me left. I've missed a week's water change out. So okay, next one is magnesium. So this will be the last test we do. Same kind of thing again. This time plunger's reading round about the 0.04 mark, down at the bottom of the plunger there. So it's exactly the same thing, you just add this into the colour changes. This one goes blue, a kind of bluey purple colour. Then check the chart for this one. So 0.04, if I have a look at this chart here, 0.04, if you can see that there's 1440, so that's quite a bit higher than what it used to be. But again, not really upset about that, I think that'll be okay. Okay, so that's the parameters there. One of the big things with the tank this week, two kind of issues that I've had, to be honest with you. First issue that I had was completely my own fault, something that I done that I probably shouldn't have done, but never mind. When I stick my hand in the tank, I always switch off the heater and so on. Now to do that, as you'll see at the back here, I've got the sockets that makes it handy, you can just switch them off. So what I'd done was I was doing some maintenance in the tank, I switched the DD temperature controller off at the socket of the wall, done my maintenance, fed the fish and so on, went away back downstairs and completely forgot about it. I woke up in the morning, I always check the tank in the morning, it's pitch black, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, I go and check it anyway. Popped in and checked the tank and noticed that the temperature controller wasn't on. Panicked, switched it back on and it was reading 22 degrees Celsius. So that's not great. I keep the tank running at 25.6 degrees Celsius. So when I noticed that, I put it back on again, let the temperature come back up. Since then, some of the corals have been sulking quite a bit. I don't know if it's a coincidence that they've been sulking at the same time as I've finished obviously all the Flux RX treatment and so on. That's took the majority of the green hair algae away. There is still some bits of green hair algae, so I'm hopeful that the cleanup crew, urchin, crabs and so on will take care of that, but we'll just need to wait and see. So yeah, not looking fantastic with that. The kind of bigger issue I've had with that, now I don't know if it's related to the using of the Flux RX or anything similar, but a couple of other people have had this issue, is that I've now got quite a lot of bad cyano in the tank. It is really, really unsightly, it makes the tank look terrible, which is why, you know, I'm not going to hide anything, I'll show you guys the tank, I'll be completely honest with you. You are going to have issues in this hobby, I've got issues just now, there's no point in me saying the tank's great, it looks great, it's fantastic on Instagram and so on. So if you cast your mind back, this is how the tank used to look. This was before, obviously, I had all the issues with the green hair algae and so on. Now we're going back quite a bit here, but this is what it looked like, and this is what I would have classed as, you know, the perfect Instagram tank, if you want to call it that, where everything looks great and it's all perfect. So I was really happy with the tank there. Cut back to now, and it looks terrible. Now it is covered in cyano. Fighting that just now. So many different methods to go through. You could go down Cyano RX, you could go down all different ways. I'm trying to let it burn out naturally. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I have read a guide on Ultimate Reef from a guy called Essox, I think it is. So I'm following some of the steps in that. I'll probably link that actually in the description so you guys can see that if you want. Quite a helpful guide to read through. It's quite a long thing, so get yourself comfy, get yourself a brew and read through that. That might help you out if you do have algae, cyanobacteria. So that's kind of where we're at with the tank just now. It doesn't look great. So the second issue that I had with the tank was that big turbo snail here decided that it was going to go and block the intake. Now, this is something that I had actually been discussing with Aquaprint, because they have this little gadget here which they've designed that goes over the intake, stops it getting blocked by any snails or anything. Now this is a fantastic idea. It had only been another week that we were talking about that, and then I woke up in the morning to hear the DD temperature controller beeping, and I thought something not quite right here. Luckily I just dumped a whole of the water in, because obviously when the snail had blocked the intake, the level in the rear chamber had dropped down because more was getting pumped out than what could be sucked in. It pumped a load of RO water in. Because of that, the temperature had changed and it started beeping, which is what actually woke me up. So I went and checked that, removed the snail from it, checked the salinity. The salinity had kind of moved a wee bit, but wasn't too bad. So I moved the ATO sensor down a little, just to allow that to evaporate back out again. So I'll capture all that when I do my water change at the weekend. But that was the two issues that I had this weekend, this week, which wasn't really great, to be honest with you, but it's part of reefing. So the two things from that is, always remember to switch back on your equipment when you're finished. I've ran for 9 months and haven't done it once, then I've done it the other week. I've actually done it twice now, to be honest with you. I've done it twice last week, but once I caught it, as soon as I walked out the room, I thought I've not put it back on again. Anyway, second thing, just be careful if you've got any big turbo snails or so on that can block your intake. especially in smaller nano tanks like this. If it blocks the intake, now it's not going to block it completely, but it's going to limit that flow in. Your pump's going to push out more than it can suck back in, the level in the chamber is going to drop, and your ATO is going to start kicking in water. That can muck up your salinity, it can also muck up the levels, it could overflow, so just need to be really careful with that. So if you haven't already, I would recommend getting one of these overflow protector guards from Aquaprint. I've got mine's ordered, it's going to be coming soon. Get that fitted and hopefully that'll solve it. So yeah, the cyano is probably the biggest issue just now. So if we can fight that and get through that, then I'm hopeful the tank can get back to normal again. Like I say, there is still some green hair algae, but the cyano is the big one. As you'll see, a lot of the polyps on my zoas especially have got a lot smaller. They seem to have all closed up again, so if anyone's got any ideas what's going on with that, obviously you've seen my parameters there, so they are what they are. Not really much I can do with that just now, but I just want to try and get things back to normal anyway. So the polyps are closed on a lot of the zoas, not all of them, and they are a hell of a lot smaller as well, so I'm just going to need to try and keep on top of this. Not been an easy week, it's been quite a difficult week with that, but I'm not going to let that get me down. Looking forward to Crackna next weekend, going down to that, Manchester, so if any of you guys are there, I'll see you at that. But yeah, that's really been the tank this week, to be honest with you. Not masses to tell you, but not great news anyway, so a couple of things in there. I mean, you can see what the corals are doing, that's kind of telltale for it anyway. So I'll just keep this video kind of short and sweet, move on from there. But again, thank you very much to you guys for watching the video. Thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, could you please consider it. It means a massive amount to me. That's probably the biggest thing you can do to help out. So if you could consider subscribing to the channel, that would mean a lot. Don't forget, leave a comment down below if you have any help, tips, advice, whatever. I'll take them all board. So if you can put them in the comments down below. Any questions that you've got, fire them down there and I'll get back to you. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way. If you like it, give a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. But yeah, that's really it for this week. So thanks very much for watching. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. If you're going to Crackna, I'll see you at the weekend. Failing that, I'll see you next week. Take care, folks. Bye bye.